Hi, today I'm going to talk about HPA Axis. HPA Axis stands for Hypothalamus Pituitary Adrenal Axis. Hypothalamus pituitary is actually in the brain. Adrenal, which is renal, is actually on top of the kidney. The reason of having HPA Axis in the body is actually for the stress response. Any kind of the stress, for example, physical stress, operations, mental stress, depression, or maybe even traffic jams, facing the exam or rush for the deadline, any kind of the stress, hypothalamus is actually very sensitive to that. So once they receive the signal, anything, then the hypothalamus will release a hormone we call CRH to the pituitary. Then the pituitary will then release ACTH, which is another kind of the hormone, into the blood, go to the adrenal to produce a hormone, which is the cortisol. At the same time, it also will activate the noradrenal neuron, driven by noradrenaline and adrenaline. So it will give us the immediate response of the fight and flight. So to let us cope with the response immediately. So for short term, HPA Axis, which is the stress response, is very important because it allows us to adapt to the situation. For example, running. So if let's say we run, then until the certain distance we start to feel tired, not enough energy, then the adrenal will start to produce the cortisol. The cortisol will ask the body to break down of the glucose, then to feed to the body as a fuel to give us the energy. Let's talk in a bit of the layman term. What are they really is? So hypothalamus is actually the boss, the CEO. Then the pituitary is the manager. So the boss will give the order to the pituitary. The manager will start to give the memo to the workers. The workers is adrenal. Then the workers will start to do works to produce and to face demands, to reduce the impacts of the body. After that, once everything is done, the workers will start to send the message back to the pituitary. We call negative pathway. So then the manager will know, okay, things is done, everything is coped, then everything will be back to normal. So that's why we will say in short term, activation of the HPA Axis pathway is actually very good, very adaptive. So it helps us to face a challenge, face the day-to-day challenge. However, if let's say things happen very often, it keep repeating or it become very chronic, kind of the activation of the HPA Axis, it can be quite damaging. Then it will let the body go into the inflammation process. So that's why we always say, once we get the things done, just let it go, let's move on. Don't think about it anymore. But unfortunately, sometimes life may be not may happen in the way that is unexpected. If let's say if let's say you are looking for some medication or some herbs to help in order to face a challenge, actually there is plenty. So for example, the very popular herbs ginseng, so which is used widely in the Asia country. We always use the ginseng in order to help us to cope with the stress, with the challenge, for us to be able to adapt to the situation. So that's why they are also called adaptogen. Other than ginseng, the most important mineral is magnesium. The most important vitamin to help for the stress is vitamin C. Other than that, we do have like rhodiola, ashwagandha. And today actually I want to maybe just pick a herbs and introduce one to you. So ashwagandha, their name is called Vitania somnifero. How to actually use these particular herbs? Somnifero, Vitania somnifero. Somnifero is actually the name they call sleep inducing. So for people who are having stress as well as insomnia, very hard to sleep at night time, this is a very gentle herbs. So it's also adaptogen. A gentle herbs will also help us to sleep. So of course, stress, we will use the adaptogen. If let's say insomnia, then we will use certain herbs to relax us, to help us to sleep at night time. All right. So next time I'll pick more other different products, then we will explain a bit more and to let you know how to really use it, to use the product and to utilize it rather than let the medication control us. Thank you very much.